What's up, guys? No video today because A, your boy's got work, and B, your boy pretty badly cut up his nose playing hockey this weekend. So, no pretty face, just the film. Seeing the reactions online, some people are out on Drake Maye because of this game, which was in the rain, in his first game in a new system. So that just seems kind of fucking silly to begin with. But I also didn't think that the film matched that reaction whatsoever. His stats were pretty good too in the box score, despite the fact that the Patriots could only put up 10 points against the lowly Raiders defense, which should stink. Spoiler alert, the Patriots are pretty overrated and they are poorly coached with a bad roster. It's not gonna be very pretty, and to the extent it ever is, it's because Drake Maye carries them. But I thought that Drake had an excellent first half, and then in the second half, a combination of drops, poor protection, poor play design, and a really absurd amount of pre-snap penalties on first down set him up to fail. I mean, they had, I think, like five times that they were on first and more than 10. Also, just like the distribution of the kinds of plays they ran. They had 10 screens behind the line of scrimmage and then 5 more that were within 5 yards of the line. So they're trying to turn Drake Maye into a dink and dunker, and that's just the opposite of what you should be doing. In total, 22 of his aimed passes were within 10 yards of the line of scrimmage, and only 3 were beyond 20 yards. 0. I repeat, 0 aimed passes beyond 25 yards. That's crazy. For a guy who's, the reason Drake Maye is so damn good is because he's super mobile and he has an immaculate deep ball, and you don't let him throw the deep ball, and he only got to run 4 times and 3 of them were on scrambles. So this offense just doesn't fit him, and it's not going to get better. Like, really, to the extent it gets better, it's Drake Maye adapting his game completely. This offense is not well designed and it's archaic, and we knew that coming into the season, but we got some proof today. So, without further ado, let's watch some film. First drive is going to get off to a rough start. First play, Drake's just not seeing it that well. He wants to go deep, start the game off hot. He's got Diggs on a slant in the middle of the field against what seems to be either cover 1 or cover 3, depending. Looks to be man, probably cover 1. Maybe that's a robber there. Again, doesn't really actually matter. Maye steps up in the pocket. That's a good job navigating. Instead of hitting Diggs for the 5-yard curl, he opts to run himself, and he ends up getting 3 yards. So he loses 2 yards. I actually don't mind the idea to run. If you look right here, it looks like he might have an angle, but 99 does a really good job of pursuing. Great angle on the play. Cuts off the alley. Next play, this is going to be the real killer. This is third down, I believe. The Raiders are going to crowd the line, right? So you've got 6 guys right at the line of scrimmage plus a linebacker or, nickel defender right behind them. So Maye's thinking, I got to get this ball out. I'm getting blitzed. I'm going to go max protect. So he's got his 5 offensive linemen and he's got 2 more receivers, kind of in line in the tight end area. Plus he's moving his running back around for max protection. He thinks that the Raiders are bringing the house, and they end up rotating out into just a basic cover 2. So now he's got way too much protection with only 3 receivers, and none of his receivers win. Mac Hollins is not winning deep on the outside. I believe that's Diggs. Might be Butte is not winning on the bottom of the screen. And again, you got Pop Douglas on the out. It's open. Maye finds an open receiver that's probably going to get a first down. It should work. And he just airmails it. And I mean, that's ugly. That's an ugly miss. And it's just a miss. It's no different than if he would have put the ball 6 inches too far out of reach, but it looks bad, so it sticks with people. And so a lot of people were on Twitter bashing him, like, oh, it's bad, he can't hit anything, Drake Maye's not the guy. No, it's one throw. It's a bad throw. It's a really ugly bad throw, but it's just a bad throw. Here, again, pocket's starting to collapse despite max protection. You've only got 2 receivers running routes, right? You've got a wall of linebackers, 5 dudes covering 5 yards downfield, and then 2 safeties over the top for 2 receivers. Partially because Maye is just not recognizing that these crowded boxes are not blitzes, but also partially because this is the play called, right? Drake Maye can set the protections, but he can't tell blockers to go out into routes. You have two tight ends on the field blocking because they're trying to sell this play action, and it just doesn't work, right? You've got a corner post combo, and neither of them are open. So what's Maye going to do? He's going to step up and run, and that's good, and he gets a nice neutral gain. 1st and 5 to 2nd and 2, fine. Plus pocket movement, neutral run, nothing special. Here the Patriots fake a screen. I thought that this was out of place. In this game, the Patriots threw 10 screens behind the line of scrimmage, which just isn't what Drake Maye should be doing. You have a big arm quarterback like a Josh Allen, like a Justin Herbert. Throw the ball down the field. We saw what happened yesterday when the Bills stopped throwing a ton of screens and let Josh Allen rip the ball. He had like 300 yards in one half of football and had an amazing comeback because throwing the ball down the field is how you win. This fake screen doesn't work. Maybe it was a real screen. The offensive line kind of acts like it was. Whatever the case may be, Drake Maye rolls out and he tries to make something happen with his feet. It's a plus pocket movement. He extends the play. It's a neutral run. It's not impressive. It's slightly better than a throwaway, but honestly, not really once you factor in the hit. Here, this is one of the very few plays I really liked that McDaniels designed. Fan out the offensive line. You got a nice little wheel fade, right? Instead of just coming up this way, you get that little bit of bend out. It's a very, very small nuance, but I like it. Anyway, defender falls down. It's well thrown. It's a good ball. It's not a great ball. Honestly, I would have preferred if Maye zipped it onto him and put it right on his chest rather than laying it over the top, just so that Henry has more time to prepare himself for yak. Not that he would have really gotten many more yards, maybe 2. It's a good ball, right? Layers it, drops it right in the bucket. You can see that Maye has the touch if you're just grading traits. And strangely enough, the Patriots are going to come back and do kind of the exact same thing on the very next play. This time, Maye's being hit as he throws, which makes the ball rise a little bit. It goes a little further towards the sideline, a little higher than Maye would have liked, but still very catchable. It's a solid ball, thrown under pressure, plus pocket movement. Good play by Maye. Henry doesn't get the feet down. That's going to happen sometimes, right? Again, play action. There's a guy in your face, in your throat while you throw, and the ball is perfectly placed. I mean, it's outside, on the sideline, between the defender and between the receiver and the sideline, away from the defender. Couldn't be more perfect. Hunter Henry's leg just kicks the heel of the defender when he's trying to toe tap, and that prevents him from making the catch. So that's all really good. Drake Maye actually had a really great first half. I gave him an A for this first half. Pop Douglas with a drop. What the hell are we doing here? This is child football. You got to catch that when you're not moving and it hits your hands. And then Drake Maye, this is really creative, right? So the route actually calls for Boutte to curl in and run kind of a dig. And Boutte sits down on the route, but he curls in too much. He gets too close to that defender for my liking. He should have seen, I've got all this room over here. I'm just going to take it, right? Just go sit down out there. Alas, Drake Maye hits him on the back shoulder, turning him around, leading him back towards that space, and honestly creates this yak. So that's a great throw by Drake Maye. This is excellent. He even gets good protection by 5 offensive linemen, right? It's a 4-man rush, but the Patriots have a bad offensive line. So 5 linemen blocking 4 D linemen, a little bit of backside pressure, steps up ever so slightly. Maye could have taken the easy check down to Diggs. He could have taken the easy check down to Ramondre. Instead, he's hunting big game, gunning it 20 yards down the field on a line, on a dot, perfect ball. I love that. That's a great throw. More play action, and this is kind of the problem with the Patriots offense that I have generally. You can't effectively run clear outs when people aren't fast enough. So you don't get the yak that the play designs because 20, that safety, is right there due to not Mac Hollins. Who's that? That's Diggs. Diggs isn't getting downfield quick enough that he's actually threatening. So by the time Diggs actually gets downfield, 20, that safety, he doesn't care anymore. He knows Diggs isn't getting the ball. It's too late. He's able to bite down. And even if 52 misses this tackle, you're not getting extra yardage that McDaniels is anticipating because you don't have the speed on the outside. They don't respect you vertically. That being said, lots of motion. Drake Maye afraid of them crowding the line again, probably checking to extra protection. Yep, he brings Ramondre in. He keeps the tight end in. This time he's correct. Good job checking to max protection. And hit as he throws. Ball sails. It's a bad throw. Pop Douglas was open. He was hit, so I get it. But you'd like to see a big 6'4" dude throw through that contact. They can't all be perfect, right? If he never missed a play, we'd call him God, not Drake Maye. Instead, hits a really solid pass right here, lays it right in the bucket. This is just really good. Really good placement, puts the ball up a little bit, right? Utilizing that low leverage, meaning that Pop Douglas is between, like the defender is outside. Pop Douglas is between the defender and the quarterback. So just put that ball in front of him, underthrow it a little bit on purpose. That's really well done. So excellent drive. Drake Maye was really, really good in the first half. And then things started to get really, really conservative. Swing pass, screen passes a lot. This is nice. A little stop route, the Joe Burrow special, a hook, and a good job by, I believe that's Butte. Yep, it is. To body the defensive back, box him out, and get the catch. So far, everything's pretty simple. This ball's crazy. So this is one of those things that, like, Drake Maye probably shouldn't be doing, but he wants to force the ball down the field because I think this is the end of the first half. Regardless, it's not right. Like, check it out. You've got Pop Douglas running this dig over the middle. That's pretty wide open. You've got the curl by Diggs outside. That's wide open. And then he tries to force it in here to Hunter Henry and actually makes a sick throw. Like a crazy throw. I should have brought you the wide copy, but frankly, I'm too lazy to go get it now because I've already put together this wonderful hodgepodge compilation. Regardless, back shoulder between two defenders. Another great throw. Maye's got arm talent and places the ball like crazy good. Yes, he's going to have a couple of like, what the hell was that misses, but it doesn't really matter, right? Like this is a what the hell miss. What are you doing? You've got Butte open on the curl. You basically this entire play, you should be reading one thing. On this particular concept, you're going to have Butte run a little curl, and you're going to have, where's Henry? Henry's going to run a corner. And basically, this play functions like cover 3. So all Drake Maye has to do is read this guy right here, right? Because this linebacker is essentially going to act like he's in man coverage on the running back. And this cornerback is going to be confused because he's kind of supposed to guard the outside receiver, but he's also supposed to stay on this boundary towards the top of the screen. So he's not going to bolt in typically. Which means that this circled defender, let me clear it up a little bit. This circled defender is going to have to choose whether he covers the corner or the curl. And you're probably going to get the corner route open down the field. And if not, you just take the swing route to the running back or throw the curl to, Butte. God, 8 and 9. It's tough to keep them straight. Either way, it works perfectly. The linebacker gets kind of confused, doesn't know who to go to, moves to Hunter Henry a little bit late. You're thinking you've got the corner. Henry takes that weird false step, which I think throws off all the timing here. And the ball's a little bit too far overthrown. That being said, Hunter Henry didn't have the speed to beat defender number 11 to the spot anyway. You'd kind of like Drake to know his limitations better. Like, Hunter Henry is just not a burner of a tight end. He's a reliable guy. He's a hands guy. He's a blocking guy. He's a smart guy. He's a pretty good tight end. He just doesn't have that speed. So don't make him try to win a speed route because a corner is just like a streak. It's just who's faster. Hit that curl. Maybe work down to the backside and hit Pop Douglas on the curl to the bottom of the screen, but like that's a crazy thing to have to do. Working 5 progressions down to the back of the play. Regardless, it helps explain the miss. I see where Drake Maye's mind is, and it wasn't bad thinking. It was just, it didn't work. And again, you'll see, See right here, he kind of like slows down while Drake May is throwing from yet another crowded pocket. Like Max Crosby is haunting. Max Crosby is that meme of Spice Adams in the yellow suit peeking out from behind a tree rubbing his hands together. He's like, oh, I'm going to get a sack fumble right here. And then he doesn't. But yeah, so you get these two weird false steps by Henry, and then he realizes like, oh, shoot, I'm behind. And even if he would have ran through the whole play, I don't think he makes the catch, but it looks closer. All right, we got another short dig combo, right? So it's kind of like mesh, except way slower developing and deeper down the field, but also you just have slow receivers. So, you get a defensive back falling and Butte makes a decent catch, but all that for what, 6 yards? It's a very condensed offense. It doesn't have a lot of downfield capability, and frankly, it doesn't have that much yak opportunity. Here's another one, just a drag to Butte. May's getting hit as he throws. It's batted. It's a bad ball, but, he's dealing with crap. This offense is not creative. The line's not very good. And then Josh McDaniels' solution to the line not being very good is, I'm going to throw the most telegraphed screen passes like I'm playing Madden 2013 ever. Like, running back screen of that exact style and blocking scheme 8 times in this game. None of them worked. They're all watch how quickly the defense keys in. And they're like, oh, this is very clearly a regular ass running back screen. Look at all the linebackers are already starting to run towards the running back. All the defensive linemen are starting to disengage already. And Maye hasn't even hit the top of his drop, right? They know because this shit is outdated. And that's the problem with Josh McDaniels. He's running a very condensed spread air raid style offense, but it hasn't evolved over the last 15 years like Cliff Kingsbury's has. It's not creative. It's not spamming the easy small plays like the meshes and the hitches. It's a combination of all the worst parts of spread offense. Here, solid throw. Good job selling the route upfield. Large cushion. More screens. Why are we throwing these screens? First of all, the blocking's not great. The blocking basically did not exist. But even if it did, we have press coverage, right? This looks pretty clearly to me like basic 4-3, I guess, nickel, cover 2 man. Like, this is the most basic defense everybody plays in high school with press coverage concepts. So why are we throwing a screen against it? There has to be a check, and I don't think there was. I don't think that Drake Maye has the ability to, because you'd have to be a moron to check into this play. But when you've got 4 down linemen, no present blitz coming, and press coverage, you never throw a screen. Because, look, 22 right there. I believe that's Eric Stokes, my dude. He's on the line of scrimmage. He's actually ahead of the defensive lineman. He's 1.5 yards away from the guy who's going to catch the ball. If anything goes wrong, if Butte misses his block even a little bit, this is a touchdown for the Raiders. And if Butte lays an average block, it's a yard gain. So huge risk, no reward whatsoever. You only run this play on off coverage, in my opinion, or at least regular coverage, not pressed up jam. This is just bad play calling. And the fact that McDaniels calls this play without a second play to check into, right? Like, McDaniels, when he calls this play, should be saying, hey, run the screen, but if they're pressed up or if there's some other problem, the check, the hot, is, 4 verts, like something, right? Like, have Butte run a post right between the safeties. But there is no check play. They don't give Maye that kind of control at the line, and I get it, he's young. But when you run bad plays and you run them into bad fronts, you get bad results. It's kind of an embarrassing play. Maye tries to make up for it. That's a nice throw on 3rd and long, but it's not enough, and Vrabel doesn't have the balls. Is another thing. Coming into the season, my gripe with the Patriots was, aside from their roster not being very talented, you've got an outdated offensive coordinator who loves to run the ball and throw screens. You've got a cowardly head coach who loves to kick on 4th down when he shouldn't. 4th and 2 in a close game. You've got a 6'4" mobile quarterback. Dude, just run the read option. Like, there are way better plays to run than the read option. Like, mesh. If you're going to run a spread offense, run mesh, but they never do. I don't get it. But yeah, 4th and 2, you cannot be kicking a field goal. You got to go for it, especially deep in opponent's territory like that. Now, this isn't a screen. It's just a swing. But again, why are we doing this? There are better ways to utilize this team's skill set. Get Travion Henderson on some wheels rather than these swings, right? Get him further downfield. Ramondre Stevenson, I don't want him catching the ball, but there's nowhere else to go. It's curls to the 5-yard line, and it's a corner and a streak that run into each other. This play was designed on purpose to be a swing route the whole time. It's basically a screen. Why are we running these things? It doesn't make sense. When Drake Maye gets to run like grown-up big boy concepts, he throws lasers. Really solid comeback throw. Great placement, great velocity, tight spiral, low, perfect. But he has to be allowed to do the big boy things, and partially because the offensive line's not great. 71 just getting walked right back into Drake Maye's lap like Santa Claus on Christmas time. But this is cover 2. And we can't hold up in protection, and we're forced to throw checkdowns, and we don't have cover 2 beaters going. This is actually one of the better plays. Right? It seems like we've got a post by Pop in the slot. We've got... Yeah, so Pop's going to run a slot post, and we're going to have Diggs on this dig. We're going to get... I guess that's Butte running a weird hook, curl, wander around and look for the void in the zones. And then we're going to have a big wheel route from Hunter Henry again. And it kind of works, but the pressure is too quick for anything to develop. Right? So again, they're rushing 4. It's cover 2. This is the least pressure-filled kind of defense that can be run against a team with a bad defensive line, frankly. They have one defensive lineman worth a damn. Max Crosby, who's currently walking around Morgan Moses as we speak in this picture. Hunter Henry's not even remotely into his route. Pop Douglas is not remotely into his route. Butte's not remotely into his route. Nothing's doing. And so that's why Drake Maye is having to dump the ball down, despite the fact that the play actually is well designed. So I guess I should take it back. This play is not on Josh McDaniels at all. It's a short throw, but it's the right play. It's a plus pocket movement. It's a muddy pocket. He's getting pushed by a defensive tackle. Gets the ball out. This is why we make the videos. My first run through, I thought I knew what was going on. I got mad at Josh McDaniels for throwing short all the time. Turns out it was a really well-designed play. Protection just didn't hold up. And maybe that's why Josh McDaniels refuses to throw deep. But probably not, but maybe. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt for now. But if you can't hold up against the Washington Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, you can't hold up because it's only going to get harder. Yeah, and then from then on, it's a lot of shorter routes. This is second and short. This should be when you go deep. Frankly, on second and short, I want to see play action with a deep shot. But who's going to run the deep shot? Because you've got Butte at the bottom of the screen. He ain't going anywhere. Pop Douglas running yet another dig to the sticks. You got a curl to the sticks. You got Hunter Henry doing something in the middle of the field, probably a post. None of these guys have the speed required to actually take a deep shot, except for Pop Douglas, and he's tiny. Yet again, Butte doesn't have the speed or doesn't have the awareness to know he needs to be sprinting here. I can't tell if he's kind of trying to sit in a void between the cornerback and the linebacker, and he's not sure if he should throttle into this second window, right? So he's like, ooh, maybe I'll get a ball here, and he doesn't realize that he should actually be sprinting to get a ball here. Whatever the case may be, first down, there's no upside to this play. There's no upside. This is where Drake Maye is taking off because Max Crosby has literally laid his blocker out. You got 2 Patriots linemen on the ground. You got Ramondre Stevenson trying to punch a guy in the face. And Drake Maye takes off. And it's not very effective. It's a neutral run, it's a pocket movement, but nobody's getting open. And that's not even necessarily a play design problem. It's a pretty regular stock play. It's just you don't have the talent to get away with it. When you don't have talent, everything has to be designer. Now here, this is Drake Maye's interception, and I have mixed feelings. Now, first of all, as Drake Maye is throwing, he's being hit by Max Crosby. That's a tough thing to do, throw while being hit by Max Crosby. And he made the right read. So we'll diagram the play shortly, but, I mean, it doesn't take a football genius to see that there's quite a lot of room around, I believe that's, yep, that is Diggs. Not because I saw the 8 at the top of the screen, but because I saw the 9 at the bottom. So yeah, you got Diggs wide open on like a fairly elaborately set up hook route. But you get hit while you throw. It's second down, so it's completely normal to be throwing past the sticks like this. This is a safe, like he's reading the play properly. The Patriots actually get pretty lucky in that the Raiders are not disguising a ton. Like, this looks exactly like basic cover 2, and shockingly, it is. And this play is designed pretty well to beat cover 2. So there's your defense. Right, you're gonna, the way that you beat cover 2 is with tiny throws and throws to the voids, which are tough to do. You have to have a lot of arm talent like Drake Maye does. These red circles are the voids. You want to hit something in there. And this play kind of perfectly exploits that because, importantly, you're going to have Pop Douglas running a little fade, and that's going to put this defender in conflict. And then, as I mentioned earlier, Diggs is going to run like a very slow maneuver to just kind of eventually wind up in a lazy hook. And so you're basically zoning in on this red circle, this red top circle, because what's going to happen in pink is this safety is going to get deep. He has to, especially because of this fade. So he's going to be running towards the sideline over here. And then this corner is going to have to decide, do I carry deeper than my responsibility? Do I go deeper than I should to cover the outside receiver? Or not the outside receiver, the outside route, so Douglas. Or do I shade over to guard this lazy hook, which is going to be too deep for this linebacker to get to, but too shallow for this safety to get to? See, it creates a lot of conflict. This is a well-designed play. So Drake Maye does the easy thing and assumes that this is not going to be a disguised coverage. It's base cover 2. It's fairly safe. The running back occupies that linebacker to keep him shallow. I would like Pop Douglas to be faster to actually really test that outside corner, but the outside corner plays off, which is lucky. And Drake Maye finds the wide open shot. It's exactly what he should be doing, but he gets hit while he throws, so the ball sails on him, and it ends up being intercepted. Now, is that a bad decision? No. And is it an inaccurate throw? No. It was a bad ball that came out wrong because he was hit. Just exactly the same way that sometimes a batted ball gets intercepted, right? Because you throw the ball off of a lineman's head and it bounces up and gets caught by a different lineman. That's not an interceptable ball in my book because he's just being hit while he's thrown. It's a bad pocket management play because he should understand, I've got Max Crosby on a stunt against my terrible right guard. Oh no. Michael Onwenu's about to die, and Drake Maye is about to die with him. But like when you've got Max Crosby's head in your sternum, the ball doesn't go where you want it to, and that's why that ball comes out like such a wounded duck. Like, he was a little late to decide to throw. He probably assumed that Onwenu would put up some resistance whatsoever, and he was wrong. But he reads the play out perfectly. He anticipates perfectly. Everything's perfect except for the fact that he gets hit while he throws, and it leads to a pick. So I didn't grade this ball as interceptable because despite the fact it was actually intercepted, it has very little to do with Drake Maye's accuracy or decision-making and everything to do with getting protection. Now that ball is bad. That's another high miss. There's just no excusing it. And you don't want to miss high because missing high is how interceptions tend to happen, like we saw in the last play. Luckily, this ball was not in a dangerous area, so it's not interceptable, but he got lucky. What are we doing? Again, the whole point of this play, this is a screen. It's a downfield screen. You've got two receivers who are blocking. They never even tried to run a route. Safety reads it immediately and crashes down. Just a bad design. Pocket doesn't really hold up. There's nowhere to go because, again, everybody's short. There's no vertical element to this play. Just like there's very rarely a vertical element to this entire offense. And you have a quarterback who's a vertical passer. How's that supposed to work? Here's the placement. It's not very well placed. It's a bad ball. But he's put in a can't-win situation. Play action and another screen. What's really a shame is that if this was a real play, like a real play instead of just blocking, you've got open receivers, right? Mac Hollins is about to be open on the post. Whoever that is for, I think that's Antonio Gibson. He's going to be open on the wheel, but it doesn't matter because they're only out there to block. They're diversions. That whole thing was just an elaborate screen. And I wish that, Josh McDaniels would put way more time into designing downfield concepts and getting the ball into wide receivers' hands than designing ways to find, to make new Shane Vereen's out of every running back. Shane Vereen hasn't played in 10 years. There's a reason. It's over. Stop trying to throw swing screens every fucking play. Here, offensive line just doesn't hold up at all. It's a no-fault sack, and in fact, I think Drake Maye just kind of plunges forward for a yard out of sheer force of will. Moving the pocket, escaping pressure, and nobody is moving. What are we doing? So on the scramble, first of all, is a very simple, small play. They're looking for Hank, right? It's a 5-yard curl and a 10-yard curl and a 5-yard dig and a 10-yard dig. Or I guess maybe that's even a post or an over route by Henry. It's hard to tell. He starts jogging before he really develops it. If Drake Maye wasn't pressured, Hunter Henry would be wide open. It'd be easy throw, big gain. But Will Campbell is 5 yards from the nearest rusher, and he is looking backwards at him. Will Campbell had a pretty decent game, but he gets beat here. And Drake Maye has to run, and he still makes something happen. It's a plus pocket movement in a really nice routine throw. But the play is inhibiting the upside. There's nobody going downfield, and again, it's partially because of the offensive line, so I get it. Maye maneuvering the pocket again, and he leaves the ball behind. Could have thrown the ball to Pop Douglas here, but he's off platform. He's moving. He doesn't have time to reset and rescan. I understand not throwing the deep post to Pop Douglas, who was open and probably scores a touchdown if he put it on him accurately. Throwing the ball behind your running back or whoever the hell that is, not good. Bad throw, good pocket manipulation. Now we're in the fourth quarter in this absolute rock fight of a game. Maye, movement again, line not holding up. And again, this is a bad defensive line. This line, as long as you're handling Max Crosby, this line should be easy to manage. So I guess maybe that's why McDaniels is so intent upon all these short routes. I mean, right here. You got two jumpers. Why? Because you're supposed to punish jumpers. So right here, Ramondre Stevenson, he has a hard time getting to the linebacker he's supposed to block because Max Crosby pushes more. I mean, look at this. Bottom of your screen. Right tackle, Morgan Moses versus left end, Max Crosby. Crosby shoves Moses back so quickly that Ramondre doesn't have the time and space to actually get to his man, right? So 57, that linebacker, he kind of just stops and stands like a contained spy. But Max Crosby pushes Morgan Moses directly back into Ramondre Stevenson, setting basically a pick block. So now 57's unblocked. We've got a free rusher coming at Drake Maye from the left. Drake Maye gets the ball out on time, but because Ramondre Stevenson's not blocking his man is free to just jump. So a lot of batted balls don't happen because the receiver or because the quarterback is short or throws the ball low. They often happen because defensive linemen aren't being punished. When a lineman jumps like that and sticks his hand up in the air, that hand's 11 feet in the air. No quarterback can throw over that hand. The reason that you typically don't see hands 11 feet in the air is because if you were to extend yourself like that, a lineman or running back is supposed to punch you in the gut, punish the jumper, knock him down, or at the very least make him keel in half. So nobody ever jumps. except for when Ramondre Stevenson can't get anywhere near the guy he's supposed to block. So Maye catches his own batted ball and runs for like 5 yards on 3rd and 10. It's a valiant effort, but it's a nothing play. It's a bad ball. Can't get the ball batted. But it's a nice little move and run after the fact. Here, Maye does a nice job of holding onto the ball when it gets swiped at by a passing rusher. I mean, he's just under pressure every play. These linemen are not holding up well. And Hunter Henry kind of misplays the ball, but it's also poorly thrown. It's a bad ball. Right, so you'll see here Max Crosby, he's slapping at that ball, and Maye does a nice job of bringing it down low, holding on tight, not fumbling. And Maye's going to throw this ball, and Hunter Henry is just behind it. Henry had a hard time picking which shoulder to look over, and Maye had a hard time putting it on him. That's nice, but I mean, at this point, the game's kind of over. Oh, Drake. This is one thing I do wish that Drake Maye would have be a little more conscientious of, but again, Will Campbell is, with his back to the line of scrimmage, reaching with his little T-Rex arms. I'm kidding, but not really. For Max Crosby, who's just walking past him. So yeah, of course, Drake Maye gets hit while throwing. He doesn't anticipate that pressure, and he fumbles. And you got to worry about, you got to figure that out, right? If you get that release chopped down, if your release is a little quicker, right? He's got that elongated release. He brings the ball back like that. If you get it out quick, you don't get hit, and therefore you don't get sacked, and you don't fumble. Additionally, you kind of got to be aware that, like, hey, my line sucks. Sometimes I'm just going to get pressure. Oh, and that's not even Max Crosby. That's Malcolm Kuntz. Oh, Will Campbell, you can't let that happen, buddy. Oh. I saw white arms on a defensive lineman. I just assumed it was the good one. It was not the good one. I mean, yeah, it's universal failure, and then what the hell is Mac Hollins doing? Why is he on the roster? Why is he the best player they have at the position? Because they chose not to draft Ted McMillan. Good job I made to create something out of nothing here, but at this point, I mean, we're in the doldrums of this game. Another good throw utilizing leverage and a nice catch. I think Butte might be the best receiver they got, and that's not good. But yeah, at this point, it's prevent defenses. It's bullshit. It's over. This is almost a fumble. It's Drake Maye versus Max Crosby in a foot race. Drake Maye gets the ball out, but ever so slightly. We got another minute of this, so we probably got like 5 or 6 more plays. But yeah, game's over. This is run around, scramble defense. You know what? I'm done here. There's just not a ton more to say. I think Drake Maye played perfectly fine. I actually gave him a C+ watching the broadcast angle, and upon watching the All-22, upgraded that to a B-. I thought he was better than your average starting quarterback. He certainly wasn't enough to carry a bad team to a win, even against the lowly Raiders. But the real issues with the Patriots are a porous defense, poor offensive play calling and design, and a cowardly head coach who keeps on kicking when he should run and punting when he should kick. That's all I got for you today. There's a ton more film to grind. I think I'm going to be grading like 30 quarterbacks this week. So until next time, you know what I'll be doing. Grinding film. Hasta.